All right, here we are again talking about inflation and crypto crooks. Hard to know which is worse. Joining us, John Carney, Breitbart Economics and Finance editor and co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest, which, by the way, is a must-read. I referred to it last night. And my pal, Tomas Philipson, who was the former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors during the Trump administration. Gentlemen, welcome on set. Tomas, you've been on set before?
No, I've been with you in Palm Beach live.
That's right.
He gets the good gig.
I know.
I
got the short travel route.
You look just as good in New York as you did in Palm Beach, for that matter. Let me begin with you, John Carney, because I know you've covered this crypto beat. So this guy got busted by 7 or 8 charges, criminal charges, civil charges. He's going to jail. His parents were deeply involved. Just give me your quick take. Is this worse than you thought when you've been covering this story? And by the way, why did they choose today or last night to open the charges and put him in custody so he wasn't allowed to testify before Congress?
This was very unusual. Normally what you would do is you would invite somebody, get them sworn in, get them testifying to Congress, and then you might get perjury charges against him as well. Why go after him the day before? It didn't make any sense at all. It is far worse than I thought. What the SEC complaint, which has a lot more information in it than anything else we've seen so far, makes it clear that he was taking money, commingling accounts from the very beginning. This isn't something that just happened in 2022. He said, oh, I had a bad month, but the SEC alleges that he has been dipping in for his own personal benefit since 2019.
So he was like out Madoffing Madoff in that respect. He never was legit. And look, Tomas, Lord knows, I don't know everything there is to know. Like everybody else in the world, I'm going to have to read about all this crap. I hate it, but I'm going to have to. But it just seems to me, this wasn't your ordinary pump and dump scheme. This wasn't even putting up the facade of a real fund. He was raising money from Silicon Valley fat cats and basically channeling it to Washington, mostly to progressive Democrats, but also to Republicans. I think a bribery effort so they won't be regulated. Yeah, that's the way I saw it. That may be too blunt, but what do you think?
Was more dark money to the Republicans, I think, than the Democrats. But I think, you got to separate a bad actor, a Bernie Madoff, like you said, doesn't make the asset management industry a bad industry. So I think there's a lot of value in crypto. Crypto is a medium of exchange, essentially, that has very many advantages. One is it's faster than the other medium of exchanges. So you can transact much faster, which is good. The second is that you can do it anonymously, which is good for certain people, but also bad because it's illegal trade taking place in crypto. But that's a very small share of the volume of crypto.
As a University of Chicago professor, very distinguished post, as a former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, even more distinguished, do you recommend people to purchase cryptos?
Well,
let's say Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still alive, right? I don't know.
Bitcoin's still there.
Where's Bitcoin trading? 13, 14,000, 15,000?
I want to separate the speculative nature on whether you think this is going to go up or down from the value of a medium exchange, which the third thing I wanted to mention is it can't be captured by the government. You can't have Trudeau go after the truckers when you're holding crypto. And that's a big store of value, which a medium exchange is supposed to be a store of value. And it's a store of value the government can't come after.
I do worry, though, about all these exchanges. I don't think we have very good visibility into the way these things operate, how they're capitalized. They're clearly not regulated properly. So I think that while I agree the technology behind Bitcoin and blockchain is very important, I think these financial institutions that have been built up around these are very questionable, and I think this is not going to be the last one to collapse, but it will be remembered as one of the first ones.
That may be why, by the way, stocks sold off despite the good inflation news, because this other story is dribbling out, pardon the phrase, dribbling out. But actually, the SEC doesn't know anything about crypto.
No.
Or climate change, for that matter, but we're going to talk about that in another segment. The commodity futures, they don't know anything about crypto. The U.S. attorney doesn't know anything about crypto. I'm not saying the charges are wrong, both criminal and civil charges. I'm just saying, though, there has to be, I'm a free market guy, as you know, Tomas, but there has to be some regulatory safeguards, guardrails,
but it was also amazing the diligence that was not done by sophisticated investors.
Yeah.
That's the most amazing part of this, I think.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
All these people fell.
Yeah, exactly.
His wife.
Exactly.
Brady's going to have to
but there was,
play football
serious
till he's
firms
50
back.
years old. But judging from the last night or the night before, he's not going to be able to do it. That was a joke. Ha, ha, ha. He's a great Hall of Famer. John Carney, tell me about the inflation reduction today. Is it meaningful, a new step down in inflation, or are you still questioning it?
I'm still questioning it. If you look at, the headline number, very much down. A huge part of that was energy. Energy prices have fallen. If you look at home energy, for instance, that is way down, and that's helpful to people. But year over year, it's home heating energy is up 15.7%. So people are still getting squeezed by this. The thing that bothers me is the food inflation that's in here. Food is ultra salient to people. It's the most frequently purchased consumer item, right? You go every week, go shopping. Food at home is still up more than 10%. It went up another 0.5% in November alone. That's too much inflation. That actually really does risk becoming destabilizing in terms of expectations, because people say every time I go to the grocery store, things have gone up another 5-10 cents.
Yep.
And that is really entrenched, and I don't see any sign of it going.
Tomas Philipson, is the Fed too tight right now? Should they stop their tightening move? They're going to do 50 undoubtedly tomorrow, 50 basis points. After that, what you think? What's your advice? I
don't know what they're going to do, but I think there's several deflationary pressures out there that could help them. One is, call me crazy, but there's this theory that money supply growing faster than goods supply causes inflation. A guy called Milton Friedman used to believe that. So we had a huge spike. We have a huge spike in money supply in 2021 with lags coming in with inflation and now going down.
Crashing.
Exactly.
Crashing.
Exactly.
M2.
So it's
M2.
very,
Crashing.
very consistent with that argument, I think. The second thing is the demand is running on a runway now where we build up a lot of wealth. It's about 1.4 trillion with that people. We had the biggest income boom in any boom during COVID because of the transfers. Bigger than any boom, let alone a recession. It was the first recession we had income growth, but we had more income growth than any boom. That is now being run down. That runway is coming down. And lastly, the supply constraints, the fact that we spread Medicaid in the middle class so people don't need a job to get health insurance is also downward pressure on prices when they come off.
Deflation. Interesting. Deflation from Tomas Philipson. John Carney, thank you. Somebody has got to have some guardrails for the crypto story. Otherwise, everybody's going to get fleeced. All right. Thank you very much, John Carney and Tomas Philipson. Next up.